Hello, everybody. Deep Nora here. Got some strange background music. We're reading a blog from yesterday. Y'all can't see my hand, but I'm pointing at the screen. Talking about the next team and the first team for the Age of Fear. This is the Exalted X-Men. Rise up in Crucible. Exalted X-Men. Fear threatens to swallow everything, but a union of some of the most powerful mutants on Nexus Earth stands in the way. The Exalted X-Men. Storm, mighty, leads this team that includes fellow newcomers Angel and Morph alongside veterans Wolverine and Jubilee. So upgrade your Wolverine and Jubilee. Or if you've done the anniversary event, you've got a G20 Wolverine for free. Here's a rundown of this important team. They're a top-tier Cosmic Crucible squad that can hold their own against Professor Xavier and Blue Marvel squads in Crucible, which is excellent. Storm is the first mighty character in the Age of Fear. Storm mighty is the first mighty character you'll need during the Age of Fear, so don't wait to unlock and apply the chapter power boost to her stats to get the Edge and PvP battles, which they talked about that in the last video. Rise above in Cosmic Crucible. The mutant powers of the Exalted X-Men combine to create a top-tier Cosmic Crucible team capable of taking down top teams. That includes their mentor himself, Professor Xavier, and the PvP defensive specialist, Blue Marvel. The mutant genes, vitality, exposed, and positive effects. Each new Exalted X-Men character features a mechanic that makes them even more gifted, and having studied under Professor Xavier, the team has tricks up their sleeves to fend off mind control attacks. Storm, mighty, expose enemies to the elements, strike at the heart of enemy abilities, and dampen enemy stats. The key to her kit is an exposed mechanic. Her ultimate applies exposed to all enemies, and in Cosmic Crucible she applies exposed on spawn to all controllers. When an enemy with exposed is attacked, reduces the duration of immunity on that enemy. On an enemy turn, if that character has exposed, she attacks that enemy with piercing. In Cosmic Crucible, this attack also reduces the duration of immunity on that enemy. Applies silence, and if the target is a mutant, applies ability block. In Cosmic Crucible, enemies with exposed have reduced damage, armor, and resistance. Angel, Wings of Health. Angel is a veritable guardian angel for the Exalted X-Men with heals, barrier, defense up, and death proof keep everyone on their feet. But his unique vitality mechanic allows him to help his friends recover from most of their wounds. When enemies attack Angel, if he has vitality, he heals his Exalted X-Men allies, flips 3 of their negative effects positive effects, and applies defense up for 2 turns to them. In Crucible, when Angel has vitality and is with his Exalted X-Men team, he gains damage reduction and protects himself and his Exalted X-Men allies from gaining bleed, heal block, vulnerable, or trauma. Morph, change the shape of battles. Morph is a heavy damage dealer thanks to his ability to copy enemy positive effects and warp the fight by crushing key enemy abilities and strategies. Every attack copies enemy positive effects, and his special and ultimate gain damage per positive effect. Morph's special is crucial to defeating Professor Xavier in Crucible, dealing major damage while applying bleed, heal block. With his full Exalted X-Men team, can't gain silence or disrupted, and he'll flip darkness to safeguard. So this now goes over the new hits. Storm the Mighty. Traits, Hero, Global Mutant, Blaster, Exalted X-Men, speed of 133. Bridge Blow. Attack primary target for damage, apply 2 bleed for 1 turn, and heal block for 2 turns. When forced to attack Exalted X-Men ally, this character deals less damage, and this attack will not reduce the max health of the target. Same for the ISO 8 counterattack and assist. Special Icicle Crash. Energy cost 5/5, reduce duration of death proof by 2 on primary target and adjacent targets that have exposed. Attack primary and adjacent targets For piercing, reduce duration of immunity on primary and adjacent targets by 2 and apply slow for 2 turns and heal block 2 turns. This attack is unavoidable and ignores defense up. You ever talk and just have a hair on your tongue? Glad it stayed up towards front so I can grab it. Ultimate Cosmic Tempest. Energy 6/6. Apply expose to all enemies. Clear revive once from all enemies. Attack all enemies for damage. Reduce duration of immunity by 2. Apply slow for 2 turns. In Crucible, this character has 3 Exalted X-Men allies. Apply stun to enemies with high speed. Gain extra focus for this attack. This attack cannot be dodged or blocked. For passive, Weather Goddess. Enemies killed by this character cannot be revived. Whenever an enemy with exposed attack reduces duration of immunity on that character by 2, this action gains extra focus. On enemy turn, if that character has exposed, attack that character for piercing. In Crucible, reduce duration of immunity on that character by 2. Apply silence if that character is a mutant. Apply ability block. In Crucible, if this character has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, enemies cannot become empowered, which is awesome. So if you use this team against Mephisto, stops him, or OG Thanos, because he's just got to rework. In Crucible, if this character has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, until this character takes a turn, enemies cannot gain defense up. Unspawn, apply exposed to all controller enemies. This action gains extra focus. Lower damage and resist by 50% down to a minimum of 50% on enemies with exposed. Lower armor by 100% on enemies with exposed. Angel. Traits, hero, global, mutant, support, exalted X-Men, speed of 107, so he's kind of slow. Wing attack, primary target damage, apply regeneration to self and all exalted X-Men allies, lose vitality. When forced to attack an exalted X-Men ally, this character deals less damage. The attack will not reduce the max health of the target, and it cannot be counterattacked. This is counterattack assist. The ISO 8 attack is pretty much the same. Okay. Special Angelic Strike 6/6. Attack primary target damage. Chain up 4 targets for damage. Flip all negative effects, positive effects for self and all allies. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all allies. Barrier yourself and all X-Men allies for 15% of this character's max health. Heal self and all X-Men allies for 25% of this character's max health. This attack cannot be counterattacked. Ultimate Sky Attack. Energy cost 6/6. Flip all negative effects into positive effects on self and all exalted X-Men allies. Attack primary adjacent targets for damage. Apply 2 death-proof self and all allies. Barrier self and all X-Men allies for 20% of this character's max health. Heal self and all X-Men allies for 30% of this character's max health. This attack cannot be counterattacked. Passive Guardian Angel. On spawn, barrier yourself and all exalted X-Men allies for 20% of this character's max health. Apply defense up for 2 turns. Gain vitality and taunt for 2 turns. If this character does not gain taunt, instead apply stealth for 2 turns to all exalted X-Men allies. When this character is attacked by an enemy, if this character has vitality, heal all exalted X-Men allies for 10% of this character's max health. Flip 3 negative effects to positive effects on all exalted X-Men allies. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all exalted X-Men allies. In Crucible, while this character has vitality and 3 exalted X-Men allies gain 50% damage reduction up to a maximum of 80%. This character and all exalted X-Men allies cannot gain bleed, trauma, heal block, or vulnerable. Morph. Hero, global, mutant, brawler, exalted X-Men. Basic copying strike, attack primary target damage, copy 3 random positive effects, excluding taunt and regeneration from the primary target. Again, would force to attack Exalted X-Men ally. This character deals less damage. And the attack will not reduce the max health of the target. Same for ISO attack, counterattack, assist. Excuse you. My dog. Special. It's morphin' time. Energy cost 5/5. Gain 5% damage for positive effect on primary target. Attack primary target damage and apply bleed for 1 turn and heal block 2 turns. Copy 1 random positive effect excluding taunt and regeneration. On Crucible defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest focus. Repeat this attack 3 times. If this character has 3 X-Men allies, this attack gains 100% crit chance. In Crucible, this attack deals double damage. Ultimate Steel-clad replica. Energy cost 4/6. Copy all positive effects except taunt and regeneration from primary and adjacent targets. Safeguard can be copied by this ability. Attack primary and adjacent targets for damage, plus 25% damage for positive effect on self and primary target. Passive. Body double. Before this character takes a turn on enemy taunt, apply taunt for 2 turns on all enemies. This action gains extra focus. Enemies cannot gain offense up. On any turn, if this character has darkness to safeguard. If this character has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, if an Exalted X-Men ally has darkness safeguard on all X-Men allies. This character has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, this character cannot gain silence or disrupted. In Crucible, enemies cannot fill or reduce speed bar for themselves, allies, or enemies. Does not apply speed bar gain through normal means. In Crucible, enemies cannot have their speed increased except by positive effects. In Crucible, the speed of this character all allies can only be reduced by slow. Updated characters. Wolverine. Increased base stats, health 257%, damage 275%, armor 194%, focus 257%, resist 257%. See, he just gains. See, he does bleed and disrupt now for his basic. And when forced to attack Exalted X-Men ally, this character deals less damage and will not reduce the max health of the target. See. His special deals more damage and applies bleed. And cannot miss. His ultimate primal berserker gains additional energy, so it's at 3/5 instead of 2/5. Gain offense up 2 turns, reduce death proof from the primary target by 2, deals more damage. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. All right. See the new text for his passive. Prolong the duration of positive effects on Morph ally by 1 up to a maximum of 3. If he has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, he gets 75% chance to revive on death. And if he's below 50% health, cannot gain stealth. lower the passive assist chance on all enemies by 100%. And this is what I'm excited about. Jubilee getting an update. Base health 300%, damage 310%, armor 395, focus 315, resist 275, speed gets a 13% boost. See, if she has 3 Exalted X-Men allies, she applies blind. That's guaranteed apply blind. When forced to attack Exalted X-Men allies, this character deals less damage, cannot reduce max health of the target. Her special plasmoid party now starts at 5 energy. She gains Nexus from 3 random X-Men allies. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. Splitting atoms, her ultimate. She reduces the duration of immunity by 2 on the primary target, deals more damage. Reduces speed bar by 25%. Attacks all other enemies for piercing. See her new for her passive on enemy death spell speed bar by 25%. Herself and all Exalted X-Men allies. On self or X-Men ally turn, apply assist now to self or a random X-Men ally. When this character drops below 50% health, apply offense up to 1 random Wolverine ally. Generate 1 ability energy for 1 random Wolverine ally. When this character or any non-support Exalted X-Men ally drops below 50% health, apply defense up for 1 turn and stealth for 2 turns to that character, and Crucible barrier and heal that character 15% of this character's max health. So really excited Jubilee is getting an update. She was one of my favorite characters in the old TV show. Her and the interaction that she always had with Wolverine was hilarious. So really excited for this team, and we need them to some extent for the next age that's starting up, the Age of Fear. So get them earmarked and start upgrading them. Yay. I look so weird. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll see you again. Keep ducking down. I'll see you guys again here in a little bit to read the weekly blog. So, see you in a minute.